So here's a few news articles that I thought were interesting. United Airlines is going to acquire 100 electric planes. This is pretty surprising to me because the fundamental problem with electric planes is that the batteries are very heavy. So rolling vehicles like a Tesla can afford to carry a ton of battery with them, but planes can't. And they say these planes are not going to go very far. They're only going to have a range of a couple hundred miles. So they're only going to be for short runs. So we'll see. Of course, it would be a really good thing for the environment. Air travel is a large contributor to greenhouse gases, but whether electric planes can really be practical remains to be seen. But anyway, we are going to have a fleet of commercial airlines at United soon that are electric, so that will be interesting. A group called Hypernative is trying to secure Web3. Now this, if you took the cryptology class last semester, it was largely about blockchain and cryptocurrency and securing it. And the security is terrible. They keep on getting hacked to an incredible amount, and this funds North Korea. North Korea's entire military is funded largely by stolen cryptocurrency. So it would be a great benefit to the world to improve the security of cryptocurrency. And this startup claims they're going to do it. They're very light on the details. They've got $9 million in seed funding, which is not that much by modern standards, but they're going to supposedly scan the blockchain and inform people when they see attacks in progress. So I guess they're going to be like an intrusion detection system for Web3, and they claim they have warned people that they were being attacked in time to stop several attacks. So it's an interesting idea, and I'll have to see as they develop whether this turns out to be something real and valuable or just a flash in the pan. So ChatGPT has been everywhere. This is the new open source product that can answer questions with full sentences and paragraphs. It can write poems, it can write scripts, it can give you answers for technical problems, but it is largely stealing them all. And the CNET, an online journalism site, has for a couple of months been using AI to write articles without telling people, and they wrote about 80 articles, and now they're very concerned because a lot of them are just plagiarized. All AI does is it trains itself on a bunch of data, and then when you ask a question, it tries to make something that looks like the other things it's read, so frequently the thing it produces is just a copy of the previous thing it saw. And they found that it was just copying wholesale articles from rival sites with minor changes, which is what AI would do. And so they had one for a long time, apparently even more effective, that makes music from a description. You describe the song you want, and it will write the music. And if it's like the art programs that are out there, you could even tell it, do it in the style of this particular musician, and it would be a good imitation of that musician. But they find, again, that about 1% of the time, it completely carbon copies somebody else's music. And the problem is the copyright protection in music is very strong, so they would get punished, so they're not making it public. And this is what people are finding with AI. AI is coming on like a freight train. Everything is AI these days. It's going to be huge. But the serious flaws in AI, there's two. One of them is it just simply copies the source data, and it has a high error rate because it doesn't really know what it's doing. It just makes something that appears to sort of match the source data. And the other thing about AI is it's very easy for it to become bigoted. Yeah, when they had made chat messages, they found that they were racially and politically bigoted because they were just copying bigoted source data. So it just finds any pattern in the source data and duplicates it, whether that's good or bad. But however, I think it is very obvious that very soon there's going to be a ton of AI assistants to help you with everything, coding, writing letters, everything. AI could help you a lot writing the first draft of a letter, but you really ought to proofread it because it does have a high chance of being mistaken. So a few weeks ago, the entire airplane industry went down. I think it was the day I was just flying back after Christmas. I missed it by a day. The whole airline industry went down in America for several hours because an emergency communication system went down, and they're trying to figure out why that happened. And it turned out that a contractor deleted a file, and that deleted file propagated to all the other databases through a sort of Dropbox-like synchronization system. And that brought down this thing called the Notice to Air Missions, which is an emergency communication system to pilots, and it's illegal to fly planes without that system working. So they now had to take all the planes down while they fixed this system. So now they're trying to improve the system and make it so that a change made in one place does not propagate immediately to all the other copies so quickly, but they have more of a chance to test it. So This sounds like a very common kind of flaw. The same thing brought Amazon down about 8 years ago. A similar problem. Amazon was trying to deploy a system that would notice when servers were getting too busy and reroute traffic to other servers, and they got it backwards, so it took all the traffic from the not busy servers and routed it all to the most busy servers and made them crash, so it brought everything down for like 4 days. This is the same kind of problem. It's quite easy to make those mistakes. All right, and so these guys, there are 2 different ways. I saw the same result here. 2 different results in the same day have claimed that Alzheimer's and perhaps Parkinson's are caused by a virus. I used to do medical research, and this one caught my attention a lot because the entire field of Alzheimer's research has been going in the wrong direction for 20 years because of one fraudulent research study. And the same thing happened to cancer with a guy named David Baltimore. He sent the entire field of many cancers on the wrong direction for 2 decades. There was a study that falsely claimed that the cysts that appear in the brains of Alzheimer's patients that contain a lot of aluminum and tangle up the neurons, that must be the cause of Alzheimer's. And it turns out that it's not. But for 20 years, they've been trying to develop drugs that will get rid of those cysts and discovering that it does not have any clinical improvement in Alzheimer's. So those are somehow part of the disease, but they're not the cause of the disease. And the cause is something else, and they've been going in the wrong direction. So there's 2 studies. One used like little worms that have some related disease, and they showed that it was a virus causing it. So that's very indirectly connected to humans. But this one here just took medical record, a large medical database of 500,000 records from some, I think, another foreign country, although a lot of people do this kind of thing with the Kaiser Permanente records. You have an enormous amount of records of all the of people's health over many years, so you can test to see. And they found that people that had viral infections like encephalitis or pneumonia are very much likely after that to have Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. And this, unfortunately, cannot prove a causal connection. You might say that whatever is causing their health to decline is causing both Alzheimer's and pneumonia, but it does suggest what a lot of people are suggesting, that it is in fact a viral infection that causes these forms of dementia. And if that's true, then our modern generation of antivirals might work. I got COVID a while ago, and I took Paxlovid, which is an antiviral developed for AIDS, and it really works. I was amazed. It's a 5-day treatment. On the first day, you totally feel better. Our antivirals, at least my personal experience, our antivirals work very well. So it does suggest we might be able to develop a much better therapy for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, although it'll probably be 10 or 20 years perfecting it. Wipers are a kind of malware that I haven't heard much about in a while. It was a big deal about 10 years ago, where you would infect machines and you would not steal the data, you would just destroy the machine so it won't boot up anymore. This is certainly one thing you can do with malware once you have administrative privileges. It's just, why would you want to do that? Well, the military would want to do that. People that just hate a nation and just want to take everything down. So Russia is doing it to Ukraine right now. They're just trashing their machines just to bring them down, because that's the same thing as, ending in drones to blow it up. And they find that this one here is specifically designed to take down Windows domains by finding the critical files for Windows domains and destroying them. So anyway, there's been a lot of these wipers. It's a pretty simple thing. You just need to spread it somehow and then write random bytes on the machine, trash important files, and it's toast. This is something I've also been watching for 15 years now. In the Iranian government, their leaders have said for 15 or 20 years publicly, constantly, that they want to destroy Israel, end them completely, destroy them with a nuclear bomb. And so America is afraid of them having a nuclear bomb because they think they'll use them on Israel. And Israel is very, very afraid of Iran getting a nuclear bomb. So many generations of the U.S. government have been trying to prevent that from happening. And we managed to do it under Obama with an Iranian deal, which let inspectors in and decreased the amount of uranium that Iran had. And apparently Iran did not perform refined uranium at that time. But anyway, Trump unilaterally withdrew from the deal. Biden was not successful in getting back in the deal. So Iran has been refining uranium, and now people claim that Iran does have enough uranium for several atomic bombs. And no one knows if they really mean it, but they certainly say in public that their top priority will be blowing up Israel with that bomb. So Israel is now attacking Iran. They had a failed attack on a military plant with drones, and logically, it seems like there will be war between Israel and Iran, since we have not prevented Iran from getting atomic weapons, and Israel cannot tolerate that. So there will probably be a war as a result. It's kind of a shame. That's where we are. All right.